All right. Good morning, Pastor Johnson over at Trinity in Manila. And good morning to Manila people. Good morning to Zion Manning people. And anybody else who happens to be watching. I'm with Jane Morris right now. And she is the president of the LWML in Iowa District West. Is that right? Is that the right title?
Yep. LWML, Iowa West District President.
It sounds like that'd be a really good business card.
Well, we like to make sure, LWML's first and then the district. So there's a formality to follow.
Well, Jane, you are a sweetheart, and we appreciate you joining us this morning. And we're hoping that you could tell us a little bit about LWML, but maybe how we start is, how did you personally get involved with LWML?
Well, I grew up in the LCMS church in Sac City, a little bit closer to you. And I never seemed to, I always heard of Ladies' Aid, but never really seemed to know that much about it. My mom wasn't involved. She was a hairdresser and raising 2 kids. She just never had the time, but her mom had been in Ladies' Aid. And a funny story is that she said the only tie she had to Ladies' Aid was that she always saw her mom. The only time she ever saw her mom mad was when she come home from a Ladies' Aid. I guess that's why she maybe never got involved. Her mom died when she was 16, though, too. So,
Wow.
Just always heard of those ladies downstairs sewing their little hearts out and collecting stamps, and never really knew all that LWML was or is, and when I moved down here to Clarinda in 2003 and the fall. And so in 2004, that fall and then into 2004, I had one of the ladies at my church, my new church that we were going to, said, "I'm so glad I finally got to meet you. You bought my grandson's house. And it's so good to finally meet you. We have sewing on Tuesday. I'll pick you up." Like, whoa! And so I went to sewing, and that was real sweet of her because it was nice. That was a great way to get to know the ladies in the church. And anyway, then lo and behold, the monthly LWML meeting happened, and she says, "We're meeting on Thursday." "Well, I'll pick you up." And so thus it began. And then that next year came around. It was 2004. One of the ladies there that was a little more involved in a district level knew about the YWR program, which is Young Women Representative. And so I signed up for that. And that allows women to come to a convention, a district convention, and really get to know what all LWML is about without the financial burden of, the registration fee, the meals and everything. And they have a special program just for the women. And there's 2 from each zone that can go. And so I was one of them, and I just had a wonderful time. I got to know that it was so much more than your little church's ladies in a society downstairs sewing. It's so much more. And it's, district level, national level. And so that next year, because district conventions are on even numbered years, and on the odd years they have a national convention. So I flew on down to Tampa because I was selected to be the national YWR, and that's where it happened to be that year. It always changes. But anyway, so I went down there and really got my socks knocked off. They had so many wonderful, inspiring speakers, and really what it was for me, not only learning that it's so much bigger than just one society, it's also the fact that, I might put some coins in a mite box, but since it's all these groups and all these districts and all, it all adds up to be so much, and we can help so many people. But then too, in a personal level, the word missionary and witness always scared me. And I found this was my little niche where, because I knew God wants us to go out and make disciples. And, but I'm not one that would probably be very good at that. So I found my niche because I can support those that are going out there doing that. And so I was like, I finally found somewhere I can really make a difference. And so here I am, president. So
Wow.
it's really great.
So if you ran into somebody on the street and they asked you what exactly is LWML, what would you tell
Aha! I'm glad you asked. I am prepared with my homework. We had just had a president's assembly, which is where all the district presidents get together in January, and they released their new mission statement.
Okay.
It kind of just refreshed the old one, but
Sure.
the mission of the Lutheran Women's Missionary League is to assist each woman of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod in affirming her relationship with the Triune God, so that she, oh wait, this is the old one. Yeah, this is the old one. Sorry, cut that
Well,
out.
it's still a good one.
It was starting good, wasn't it? Okay, that was the old one. I forgot about that. I was like, this is too long. It's not that. Okay, here's the new mission statement. I knew it was too long. I just wrote it last night. As Lutheran Women in Mission, we joyfully proclaim Christ, support missions, and equip women to honor God by serving others. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do. We like to encourage other women and proclaim Christ and just serve. We love serving the Lord with gladness. That's our motto. So,
well, as district the district president of Iowa District West, what are some joys that you have that you see in the western half of Iowa?
Well, there's a lot of good things we're doing. Every biennium we support grants and we vote on them. And so there's quite a few that not only get selected that are national, but there's quite a few that get selected within our own area. In the past, we've supported Camp Okoboji quite a bit. We have supported one over in Sioux City, the Mercy Meals. And we've done that one in the past. There is a rule there where you can't have the same grant. If it got awarded a grant, you can't have the same one the next time.
Oh, okay.
But they can apply one for one again after one biennium is passed. Sure. So we've supported them a couple of times now, and that really helps them. They do Mercy Meals. That it's a little packet, and you can actually go and help. I know Farmville usually before COVID, once a year we'll take a bus over and would have their congregation help pack meals, and it's a little assembly line. Have you ever done that before?
Something similar for sure. Yeah.
Y'all put your ingredients in, send it on, get it weighed, and then do the little seal a meal, and something really simple. And if you can't stand, you can seal that meal while you're sitting down and pass it on, pack it up, and it's just amazing that packet feeds so many children, and it's specifically formulated for children, and so they get that through Orphan Grain Train to the places that need them, and point them to a church and visit with them a little bit about the Lord. And so that's one. But we've supported some in Des Moines. Let's see. One thing that I'm really proud of is the one that is called Wishes. It's Women in Service Helping to Exclaim Salvation. And that gives once in a lifetime, $500 to one of our Iowa West LWML gals that wants to go on a mission trip. And so we've had a lot of them use them for the pedal pusher trip that Ellie Menz does, where you go out and work on the Lutheran Hour Missionaries float for the Rose Parade. And I actually got to do that too. That was a lot of fun. And there's some that like to go out every year, Catherine Spreckler. And it's so nice to have those that go regularly because they show you the ropes. It's so much fun. But that's a lot of fun because not only do you go do the float, but then you go to Union Rescue Mission in downtown LA and help serve the needy, or those that are experiencing homelessness, I guess I should say, because there's just a housing crisis out there. And, it's real eye-opening, but it's also very wonderful to be able to help and serve people. It's really neat. So I hope I answered your question.
So you guys wear a lot of purple. Is there
today. What now?
Is there any significance behind the purple, or is it just because it's a nice color?
Yeah, our ladies put a lot of thought into that. One time the Carroll zone president at the time asked me, because she had wanted to explain that, because it's purple and gold,
Oh, okay.
actually. And we just recently redid, let me see if I could do this. We recently redid the logo to
Sure.
the
Yeah.
teardrop harp
Yeah,
and
we can see
the cross.
it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of significance behind that too. So, but it's all on the LWML.org website.
Perfect.
If you put in LWML colors, it gives a whole explanation. I don't know all of it off the top of my head, so it'd be best to go there.
Well, resources are important too. A couple of questions. Obviously one of the challenges with LWML, and obviously it's happening in our churches too, are kind of changing demographics.
Mhm.
And I would imagine that's happening with LWML groups too.
Mhm.
How's that being addressed?
Well, we're trying to, that is, the struggle is real. There's declining ladies, well, just in the LCMS, people just don't go to church anymore, it seems like.
Sure.
And back in the day when I was growing up, you went every Sunday, and we were always there about an hour early. And especially when my dad was elder, we were probably an hour and a half early. But yeah, there is declining attendance, and so therefore, it just, I don't know why, but it just seems like life is busier. People have obligations, and so something has to not. So we are having that struggle with our ladies that are getting older, and they don't see the ones that are getting a little bit older, getting involved, or when they hit retirement, they're not getting involved. You know, so it is tough, because they're like, we just don't want to do it anymore. And
Sure.
it's like, no, wait. We don't have to have meetings every month and a whole slate of officers. And so we're trying to have them rethink what they have to do to be a group. If they just have a contact person, of course we'd love to be involved a lot and be a thriving group where they're doing lots of stuff, but you know we're trying to show them you don't have to do all that. If you had a contact person get together at least quarterly, collect mites, that's wonderful. Have a little program. It doesn't always have to be a boring old dry business meeting. But then of course our YWR program is always real good to try and get new people introduced to LWML. So we're just trying to, our ladies are wonderful. Part of what we do is we try to expand our reach to the church workers and into the congregations. Some men would love to contribute, and so do more congregational mite offerings. Like put the big old, we got a big old mite box compared to the little
I've seen one of those. Those are incredible.
Yeah. Put those in the back of the church maybe once a month or something, so everyone has a chance to contribute to our mite goal. So we're trying new things. I know the LWML national website, that LWML.org, has tons and tons of information. They've got crafts you could do with kids. They've got skits. They've got Bible studies, long ones, short ones. They just have so much information. When the coloring phase happened, and so they've got bookmarks and note cards and all sorts of stuff you can do. So if you get time, any of you viewers out there, go to LWML.org and just kick around that website. You'll be surprised how much stuff you can find. And if you're a Sunday school teacher or something, you can find some studies or something on there you could do with kids or adults or whatever. So
it sounds like it sounds like you're trying to give groups a lot of not necessarily leeway, but freedom in how they operate meetings and whatnot. And at the end of the day, the point is to equip these ladies to serve, love Christ, and to help others serve and love Christ. And that can happen whether it's organized or we've got this monthly meeting. It can also happen if it's just sort of a little get together and you have a contact person. So it sounds like you guys are trying to give a lot of freedom and creativity.
Yeah, because some of them know how it was back in the 60s, 70s, even 80s. how it was, and so they think they got to continue that. And yeah, they really don't. They can be whatever they want. And when I was at National, they had a YWR lunch, and one of the new YWR says, you know what we do? We have our business meeting online, through
Sure.
email. And so when we do get together, it's more social. And one suggestion was, and I think it's very true, because we really took a look at the differences between the generations, like millennials and Gen Xers, and the older ones, and how they communicate differently, and how that affects trying to have a group with that different age groups, and one thing they said, and I think that goes across all generations, is they love to serve. So if you don't want to, get the monthly meeting out of the way through emails, and then, when you do get together, have a servant event, put health kits together, or, everybody loves to contribute by working and, helping. And so that would be a great idea to, once a year or twice a year, just instead of the monthly meeting, collect your mites and have a servant event is always a good idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jane, we've really appreciated your time this morning. Anything else that you want to add to get out there about LWML?
Well, just to give it a try. I mean, if you know of somebody that might, if you're an LWMLer and you see somebody that might be interested, or has some free time, invite them. Maybe not quite as bluntly as my gal did, but just invite, and don't just one time and they say no, and oh, okay, never mind, then I won't ever ask you again. Try it again and again. But yeah, it's really great to just get out there and ask. And if you are one that hasn't been asked, find out what time it is and show up. You'll be so glad you did. You really will.
Well, Jane, we really appreciated your time this morning and letting us know more about LWML and how it works. And I personally would agree with you to check out the national website, because you get to, one of the cool things is to see all the different grants that the organization has supported. And it's pretty incredible to see how much you guys raise for the church grant-wise. It's just crazy. And I know as a seminarian, I was blessed by the LWML with like the food bank and a whole bunch of other things too. So we really appreciate all that you guys do. That all said, join us on Wednesday for worship, either at 5:45 at Zion or 6:30 here at Trinity. We'll be back in motion on Wednesday. And if you're doing the Red Letter Challenge, please continue doing that as well. So Jane, we appreciate your time this morning, and thank you everybody who's been watching.
Yeah, thank you.